Right, the kingdom is his. Bilal Hassani has won France's Destination Eurovision 2019. Shall we talk about it?
Let's
do
this. Hola, or rather, bonsoir, bonjour, hello. Congratulations to Bilal Hassani. He has won Destination Eurovision. You guys, this was a night filled with drama. Simone won the jury vote in a landslide, but then Bilal, he did a sneak attack. He came from fifth to take it all. He has a huge army of supporters. He's a social media darling, and that really tipped the balance. His song resonated with his fan base, and that's what an artist does. An artist performs for their fan base and also tries to bring other people in. He did his thing. There's a lot of debate going on wiwibloggs, but first let's hear what you think, Sebastian in Australia.
Okay, I'm going to leave the bitterness to Bernardo, and I'm going to keep it real positive. I'm super impressed. Like, I was not into the semi-final performance. I thought it was a very basic pop song, basic moves. It was nothing to it. While tonight he showed his story, what he is about, his transformation from a boy to who he embodies right now. And with the messaging of the song, it fit tonight, I thought. He got rid of the majority of the dances, which were just distracting last time. So it was all about him. And I'm always happy when the public choose their winner. I know it was by a landslide and he has a massive social media following, but I'm always really happy when it's the public who says, this is who we want, not the jury.
Bernardo.
Well, the thing is, I didn't like the song from the start, so that for me was like off-putting. I think Bilal is a social media star at this point in France, and I think that helped them in some points, at least with the televote, because of course the jury didn't connect as much with his song and with his performance. Having said it, I think the performance was better tonight than it was in the semifinals, staging wise. I think vocally it was better in the semifinal than it was tonight. I don't think it was the best performance of the night. I don't think it was the best song of the night. If it was up to me, I wouldn't choose this to go to Eurovision. But of course, it was up to the French public, and he won with a landslide of 150 points. So my first reaction is that the international jury, of course, we have a lot of people that are from delegations from all the countries in Europe that participate in Eurovision. So people that are inside Eurovision and know how it works. And my first thing is, if these juries that represent more or less what Eurovision is don't connect immediately with a song that they should connect immediately because it's up-tempo, it's fun, it has a message, it showcases what Bilal is, I don't think that Europe will do the same. But of course, it's just me trying to predict what is going to happen at Eurovision, and we all know we can't predict what happens at Eurovision.
I'm going to quickly read some comments from our viewers on the YouTube live stream. Assassin of Heart says, the support is from France, though. His fan base wouldn't be able to vote in Eurovision. A cat wearing a top hat says, you can't compete with 150 votes from the televote. And Tea Time Sisters says, I am shocked with this song. France will occupy the last places. Now, that leads us to the question of how this will do at Eurovision. I've got to say, I think what's magical about this is Bilal. It's not the song. The song does sound like an imitation Rise Like a Phoenix, an imitation Conchita Wurst. He is what's special. He has a message. He is full of love. He's having a great time. He's joyous. And that is something really positive. That's something to respond to. The song, though, at this point is not there for me. I think they need to give this more wow staging because it kind of passed me by visually. But he does have something. I like that he's playing with gender. I forget the word. I've seen so many different ways of describing this. I've heard fluid gender, transgender fluid. I don't know what the precise definition is here. I don't care. What's interesting, it makes me feel about all that. I don't think about gender with him. I just think of the performer, and he's showcasing himself, and lots of people are embracing that, and that's wonderful. This is a very Eurovision message. The song, though, for me is not there. I think, and this is what I want to do. I'm going to, on this round, talk about how this will do at Eurovision. I don't think this is the winner of Eurovision 2019. And I don't know if this can make it to the left-hand side of the scoreboard if they were to use this staging and this performance. I think they really need to, turn the siren up to 60, do something to make this really pop. Because at the moment, it's good. It's just good. And France wants to be great. Sebastian.
Yeah, I think, as we were saying in the first semi-final, and he always does do it, he compares himself to Conchita. When you compare yourself to a Eurovision winner, that is a dangerous game to be playing, because he doesn't live up to what Conchita was or what she brought to Eurovision. It's not to say he can't get there, but with a fairly basic pop song, it's a dangerous game to play, I think. So I agree with you. It probably won't sit on the left-hand side of the scoreboard, probably bottom 10 maybe in the final. Yeah, so it's a dangerous game he's playing. I like the staging tonight because I think there's a story there. It just needs to probably be, as you said, a little bit more punchier or oomphier. And he does need to work on his vocals a bit, but as I said, he's young. He's got how many months now to work on that, and they can get there with the story that he has.
I think, to your point, I think talking about staging, and I think with this song in particular, it's a very difficult place, like, to strike a balance, because if you do like you did tonight, people will say, oh, you have a story in your performance, but it lacks the strength of a Eurovision performance. But if you go all the way to, oh, this is Eurovision pop and blah, 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 people will say, oh, this doesn't have a story. So you can go both ways. That's the reality. You either decide to go on, yes, I have a story and this song tells a story, or in the, oh, this is an amazing Eurovision song for people to dance and people to move to, and I'll go this way. And you can't please both. I think it's very difficult for you to find the balance between these two types of staging. I also think that the song itself, Roi, doesn't fit Bilal's voice. I think he's very good with the low register. I feel like he's extremely good with the low register. I think when he tries to go high, the voice is very nasal, if that's the correct way to say it. I think he struggles when he goes high, but he controls the notes in the low register. At Eurovision, I think I'll do something between what the two of you already said. I think it won't be the left-hand side of the scoreboard. I think it will be the right-hand side of the scoreboard. And yeah, France will struggle, I'm afraid.
I think he has improved significantly from the semi-final. He's on the ground, or rather, our Sinan Sadula is on the ground with him in Paris, along with Etienne Wyout and Diego. And they've all said that he's taken vocal lessons. Literally, he's taken vocal lessons in the past week. His mother's there. They're all about improving. So he has the right attitude. And if he can improve that much in 1 week, then there's a lot of time before the pre-parties and before Eurovision itself. I want to read some of our readers' comments. This was about placement. Jakob Halat says, hard to predict, having only 3 certain songs so far. If I had to say, they'd be stuck in the semis were it possible. A cat wearing a top hat, right-hand side, between 17 and 22. Philippe Godin Hor, Spis, Bunny, hello from France. Okay, something is not copying and pasting right. Okay, so I don't know who said this. I think it was just Jordan. His vocals aren't doing it for me. Radislav Tsanev, top 10, better than the UK. And Andrew Muncaster, French-English mix is just a mess. It would be a lot better 100% French. I've got to say, there are some lyrical issues. When they say, I'm not a rich, you're just not rich. Like, you're not a rich. And every time I hear it, this lyric irritates me. And I don't know if I'm mishearing it, but I think they're saying, I'm not a rich.
And it rhymes beaucoup with boo.
But I like that.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
That is amazing. No, look, he's going to be one of the personalities of the year. And I think this is what France has going for it. He is a personality of the year. He is a social media darling, and they need to work with that and run with that. And they have time to fix the song. They have time to give it more shape, give it a bit more thrust. Right now, it's a bit too middling. I want something more high impact. Yeah, so final thoughts on Bilal before we turn to the other acts.
I'm most intrigued by the fact that in the semi-final he cleaned up. He completely cleaned up but with the jury, and now tonight he was very middling. So what I thought was a better stage performance tonight with the song, I guess the juries didn't agree with that. And I'm really interested to see, or maybe to hear like from you guys what you think in terms of the staging compared to the first semi-final, because I thought it fit better, but clearly the juries didn't agree.
I preferred this without all the dancers. I preferred it with him trying to tell an emotional story. Obviously, the photos were him. He's saying, I'm a king, I was a king then, I'm a king now. It makes more sense. I thought the dancers made it messy and awkward.
I think, well, the comparison between the juries in the semi-final and now in the final. First, in the final, we have like 6 or 7 more juries. So you have completely different people voting for the songs with completely different tastes. So you can kind of predict what people are voting for, and that's in terms of the jury. So, and that's the exciting part of the show, because I think for weeks we already knew that Bilal was going to top the televote with a significant difference, and the decision was up to the international juries if they would vote Bilal enough for him to win, or if they wouldn't vote for him and he wouldn't win. So it was at the middle of the table, and the televote supported him enough. And yeah, he's going to Tel Aviv. I think it's going to be an amazing experience for him. He's extremely young. I think he's not prepared for what he's going to face, but I think the French delegation has enough professional people to help him prepare for what he's going to face in Tel Aviv. And I think he's going to grab everything from this amazing experience he's about to have at Eurovision and at the promo tour if he's going to do it. I think, yeah.
This is interesting. Samuel Sabo says, what do you think about people saying that international juries will hurt people that have the highest chance of winning? So I'll start by just saying, and it's different in my case, but I've done 4 televised jury stints where you literally vote for your favorite and you're told who is your favorite. And when I was doing that in Finland and Norway, it wasn't about sabotaging anyone. You wanted the best song. Of course, I don't work for the Eurovision team, of the broadcaster, whereas tonight's juries were mostly people who work for the broadcasters in the Eurovision sphere. However, I don't think these jurors were sabotaging. I think that tastes differ widely. And yeah, I don't think it's as insidious and sinister as people think. I think that maybe it's just a matter of cultural taste, or even more specific, the taste of that individual person. For instance, I don't think Russia was rigging this against Tous les Deux, because they didn't give Simone.
No.
And I think maybe it's funny, I know Miss Orlova, the woman, we hung out in Norway, and she has different tastes. Maybe she's just not into the emotional maudlin over the top. But what do you guys think about it? Do jurors sabotage?
Nah, I don't think they did so tonight. Because it was very consistent across the board as well, I thought. So if it was sabotage, they'd be throwing votes towards maybe Aysat or maybe, Dutson, but they were very consistent in the way they approached it. And so I didn't think there was sabotage really evident there.
I think, not to repeat what you guys already said, I think people the fandom needs to understand that these people that are mostly heads of delegation or heads of press for their country, these are people that love Eurovision and want the best for the contest, and they wouldn't select a bad song just so their country would have more chances of winning Eurovision. I think overall they want the best show possible, and they will select the best song. So all these conspiracy theories that judges don't vote for song X or Y because they want their country to do well, I think they're unfunded. And yeah, basically that's it.
All right, so moving away from Bilal, I want to know who your individual winner was. And if your individual winner was Bilal, who's your other winner? Like, who was your second? So I'll kick this off by saying, in terms of who would do the best at Eurovision, I thought it was going to be Simone or Sylvain Areg. I just think, first of all, Simone was my personal winner. She was so emotional. The voice is so unique. Her voice sounds broken, So she can sing broken songs. Girl can do Heartache because her voice is literally broken. And I mean that in a very positive way. It has a unique timbre. And I think everyone could relate to that song. It's just instantaneous kind of, all right, this is some drama. This is Adele. This is Adele crying. This is Adele crying with a French accent. You know what I'm saying? It's just very clear. And it touched me and it made me stop. And I really respected it. And I think people across Europe would respond to that. And then I also liked Sylvain Areg, but just because his staging was amazing. That's the kind of innovative staging that makes people pay attention. And yeah, my top three, were Bilal, these two and Bilal, basically. And it's great. I'm glad that Sylvain got the respect he deserved from the jury. I'm a little sad he didn't get it from the public, but maybe the song reads as a bit old to younger viewers. And I bet if we looked at the age demographics of this show, it would skew young. I think Bilal's Army really helped, I don't know, make the show relevant to young people. And that's a wonderful thing. Sebastian.
So my personal favorite for tonight was Sylvain, simply because I feel like he really took it up a notch from the semi-final. So it was very monochrome in the semi-final, and like the gimmick was there, but then he upped the gimmick again tonight. So if it wasn't for the gimmick, I'd probably say but the whole visual look to it really is super captivating, and it's almost like a Man Zelmerlov level, like, oh my God, I need to keep watching this because I don't know what's going to happen. Probably my favorite is Emmanuel still. I thought there was a beautiful story there. I know it's a bit cliche and people aren't really into it, and maybe I am just a 40-year-old woman inside, but I really did enjoy the song and the performance. It had a whole arc to it. I'm not going to harp on about it anymore because I heard it all last week with the hate. In terms of Simone, I get it, but tonight it gave me even more Blackbird vibes. There was the piano, there was the smoke. There was Adele vibes, and I feel like the Adele kind of phase maybe not went out, but you know, we've seen it maybe 5-6 years ago, and I want someone to be forward thinking, and I thought probably Sylvain was the best or the most forward thinking performance of the night, and that would be best for Eurovision.
Well, my favorite of the night was clearly Simone. I think overall she had the best song. I think her fragility works with this song, you know, the fact that she's not as professional, and the fact that the semifinal was the first time that she was singing live on a television show made her a fragile character, and it showcased her fragility. And I think she showcased that tonight again in the final, but it kind of works with the song. She's singing a sweet song about her dad. She's very fragile. Her voice cracks as well during the song, which is very characteristic and differentiating when we compare it to the other songs. I think overall the package was the best, because the thing is, you can mess up a staging for a song like that. It's kind of impossible. You need to be really, really bad in your job if you're going to mess up a staging of a song like that at Eurovision. And yeah, I think compared to the winner, this was far, far better. My other favorites, and this was really, really surprising for me, were the divas. My week flew off to India and never came back. Seriously, it went and never came back. The voices, the harmonies, incredible. The song is cliche. Yeah, a little bit. The dresses that they were wearing, are they ugly? Yeah, they were ugly. But
yeah,
but the thing is, everything was so out there that I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I was glad to see that the international juries gave it a little bit of love. And also the televote gave it a little bit of blood. So I think it's a nice finish for them. I would love to see them back. And if we take this performance tonight and compare it to the first time we listened to the song a couple of weeks ago, and everyone was saying, oh, this is so cheesy, this is so now everyone is saying, oh yeah, they were quite nice. It was a nice performance. I really loved it. Yeah.
God bless Israel, and God bless Daron Madali for giving the divas 12 points. The nation of diva recognizing the divas. That's with a Z, a Z to all of you in America. I really feel like this had power. They had the best vocals of the night. I'm sorry. They can sing. Those three voices are like nothing else. It was so powerful, a wall of sound. Big news. Etienne Wyatt, a wee blogger in France on the ground, he told me during the show he invited the divas to sing at the Wee Wee Jam in Israel in 2019, and they are ready to do it. La Voix d'Areta is ready to fly to Tel Aviv. So hopefully you will feel their feels at our club in Tel Aviv in a few weeks.
Our 10th anniversary, honey. 10th
yes,
anniversary.
Honey, that's 110 decent français en français. Now, look, we should probably wrap this up. Final thoughts first on the show at large or any other acts. Sebastian.
Super impressed with the show. I think they keep getting better and better. Well, this is the second year, but a lot better than last year in terms of production. And we definitely, if you saw in the first semi-final, there were definite audio issues. They've fixed it all up. I thought, for example, I Sat Tonight sounded on point. And if they keep doing this, they're going to get a Eurovision winner for sure. I'm super impressed and proud of France that they're able to put together a national final that is really so slick in the space of 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. I think they remain the quality that they presented to us last year. I was a little bit skeptical because the team changed a little bit from last year to this year. So I was afraid that it would be shown in the show that the team had changed, or people that are inside the bubble would know, oh, the quality dropped because the team changed, or the quality rose because the team changed. And I think it stayed more or less in the same area. I agree with Sebastian. I think if they keep this trend of quality in the coming years, a Eurovision winning song will eventually show up, and they can send that and win Eurovision, because it's long overdue for France as well.
I think it's really interesting how social media is changing the game. I think if you're an artist who is you're social media savvy, you can really make an impact. And Bilal has leveraged the internet to great effect to build a huge fan base, a huge, fandom. And I hope he can do that internationally now with Eurovision. I hope he can reach scores of new people all over Europe and get them to vote for him at Eurovision too. Who knows? I wouldn't put it past him. He's got the charisma to get other people on board. So maybe his followers in Germany gonna shoot up, in Finland, in Norway, in Norvège, okay? Who knows? It's very exciting. And also, I agree with you guys. Destination Eurovision was on point this year. I would download a lot of these songs. I love the studio cut of Comme Grande. I love the stage show of Sylvain. I love the divas. I don't know if I would download the divas. It's one of these things. I think the divas are best appreciated live.
Yes, yes.
But they've got such beautiful personalities. And throughout the night, they were holding the wiwibloggs cartoon, which was very touching. All right. Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Did the best act win in France? How will Bilal Hassani do? Are you loving his international flavor? Are you loving his genderless vibe? Are you loving what he represents and who he is? Let us know here on the wiwibloggs.
And if you love this video, if you loved our coverage of Destination Eurovision, give us a like, a subscribe on YouTube. Bernardo.
Leave a comment below. We want to hear what you think and answer. And of course, delete the comments that are inappropriate.
S'il vous plaît. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
I'm a press stop.